Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I'll be asking question 152.
When will you be asking it?
Mr. Speaker, the majority leader always has an issue when I ask questions. Okay, please protect me. I'm asking question 152/2018 to the Cabinet Secretary for Petroleum and Mining. A, when will the regulations under Section 224 and 225 of the Mining Act number 12 of 2016 be published and submitted to Parliament for approval? What is the ratio of revenue sharing for proceeds of titanium mining between the national government and the local community? How much has the community been paid to date? C, could the Cabinet Secretary provide a list of the individuals from the community who have benefited from the funds meant for the community and explain whether there are plans for extension of the titanium mining contract at the end of the current program or contract?
Very well, and I must actually commend you. You've really asked quite a number of questions yourself on behalf of your constituents. Next will be member for Wajir North, Honorable Ahmed A. Ibrahim.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, I'm asking question 175/218. And my question, Speaker, just to make correction on the order paper, is for Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries and Irrigation. I can see the order paper is reading Ministry of Water and Irrigation. I think by then, the Department of Irrigation was underwater, but as we are speaking, the Department of Irrigation is under Minister of Agriculture. Could the Cabinet Minister explain why the following companies have not been awarded their contracts for various works in the ministry following successful bidding process and issuance of notification of award letters dated 27th March 2018? The names of the companies are as follows. 1, New World Choices. 2, Miski Generals Limited. 3, Manguro Construction Limited. 4, Gilberson Trading Company Limited. 5, Link Spring Supplies and Merchants. 6, South Pole Construction Limited. 7, Halgan Construction Limited. 8, Devote Limited. 9, Minion Limited. 10, Marlin Trading Company Limited. Speaker, I want to make a special request, considering the urgency of this matter, that the Speaker gives direction to the Ministry of Agriculture, at least to give special consideration in terms of urgency to this question. I am raising this because...
What is it, Leader of Majority Party? Yes, he has.
The member has asked the question, and that's the end of the story.
Yes, the only reason why I'm entertaining what the presentation which he's making is because I'm also trying to grapple
to new examination centers during the examination period. B, why was security of the said candidate not put into consideration in the move, considering that many had to walk for long distance from the examination centers to their homes? Thank you.
Very well. That will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Education. Okay, so we go to the next order. What is your point of order, Honorable Jomo Ashiali?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my apologies for asking after already the other question has been asked. Mr. Speaker, you directed that my question should be handled by the Committee on Finance. And I thought that this being a business of trade, it should be handled by the committee, the relevant committee of trade and cooperatives.
There is a component of both. There is a component which would go to trade and industry departmental committee, and there's of course a big chunk of it which goes to finance. Okay. Unless you are saying you have a specific reason why you would want really this to come before the departmental committee on trade, I think finance would still, unless, do you feel that you will suffer any prejudice?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir, I don't have any personal interest.
Yes.
But I just thought that the Committee of Trade and Industry, the one that oversights this, this ministry, and I thought so that we don't try introducing new players, because the Committee of Finance will completely be a new committee in terms of matters of trade and industry, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, but otherwise, you see, you had raised, particularly in your B, the issue on investigations by the Kenya Revenue Authority. But if you really are comfortable with the trade, trade departmental committee, then that is fine with me. We will send it there. So it will be replied to before the departmental committee on trade. That satisfies Honorable Ashali, I believe. Okay, proceed.
Order number 8, motion. Report of the Committee of the Whole House on the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendments Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2018. Question to be put.
I can confirm that we have the requisite quorum, and therefore I'll put the question, which is that this House do agree with the report of the Committee of the Whole House on its consideration of the Statute Miscellaneous Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2018, and seek leave to seek again. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 9, Committee of the Whole House.
That section 26(3)(b) be amended as proposed by the mover. As section 26(b) be amended as proposed in the bill. There's no amendment to that. I therefore now put the question that section 26(3)(b) be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as of the opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, we are done with that bill, that part of the bill. I will now put the overall question, which is that the provisions relating to the Export Processing Zones Act 1990 Cap 517 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Provisions relating to the National Council for Law Reporting Act 1994, number 11 of 1994.
I propose the question that provisions relating to the National Council for Law Reporting Act number 11 of 1994 be amended as proposed in the bill.
Section 2.
Mover?
You're deleting.
Or you are deleting the question that section 2 be deleted as proposed by the leader of majority. Chair for the committee for...
Chair, I wish to confirm that this amendment requires further consultations with the stakeholders, and I want to agree with the Majority Leader that this be deleted, and we have no objection to that. We've already consulted and it is in order. Thank you.
Very well. Honorable members, then let me put the question that section 2 be deleted as proposed by the Leader of Majority. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, that was the only amendment. There were two other amendments proposed by the chair and the Honorable Millie Odhiambo, who has nominated the Honorable TJ Kajwang and the Honorable Nyikal to hold brief for her today, but both of them are not in. But no harm, because their proposals are similar to the one that was proposed by the Leader of Majority. So therefore, we are all carried in that boat. We are all together. So, honorable members, then allow me to put the general question, which is that the provisions relating to the National Council for Law Reporting, Act number 11 of 1994, as amended, be part of the bill. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. If you look at your order paper at 1536, page 1536, you will see listed there the Kenya Revenue Authority Act number 2 of 1995. I just want to inform members that those proposed amendments were withdrawn by the Leader of Majority. So we will not deal with those ones. I will therefore direct that we move to the next proposed amendments on the order paper.
Provisions relating to the Higher Education Loans Board, number 3 of 1995.
I propose the question that the provisions relating to the Higher Education Loans Board 1995, number 3 of 1995, be amended as proposed in the bill. Honorable members, we are at page 1538.
Section 4, 1 and 3.
Chair? Chair, Education.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. That the committee proposed that the schedule to the bill be amended in the proposed amendments to the Higher Education Loans Board Act 1995 by deleting the whole section. Chair, we met as a committee with all the stakeholders, and they agreed that they retake this back so that they write sector-wide amendments and laws that are actually going to run the sector for the next many years, because this particular bill was just touching on very few areas, and the sector needed to be they needed a lot of laws to ensure that the sector is run well. So we actually agreed to delete.
Very well. Chair, ordinarily we move by each section. But I hear you speaking your reasons to be applying to all the sections. So for me, for the record, I will call each one, and then we'll see what to do. But the Leader of Majority has something to say to it. Leader of Majority.
Chair, the reason given by the Chair of Education is not convincing. Because what is in the bill? This bill seeks to amend the Act to align the composition of the board to include representation from the current institutions involved with higher education. It also provides for the term of office of the Chief Executive Officer and the board members as 4 years. What is offensive in what is in my bill? Because number one, it's in lining the act to align with the composition of the board. And this is a minor amendment. You have met the stakeholders. So what is offensive? Why do you want to delete? You know, if you want to delete, this bill has been in the House for the last 6 months. Convince the House why you want to delete.
Very well. Do I see interest from the Honorable Ogutu? Member for Bomachoke, do you want to speak to this?
Thank you, Chair. I think after discussions with the stakeholders, we came to the conclusion that there were areas that were not clear even with Mongoso, including, for instance, insisting that the chairperson should have a financial background. And there were many areas which the Secretariat was not able to convince us to move forward. And for that reason, we saw no point to only pass a section of the amendment, and we wanted them to look at this amendment in the context of help in the evolving society of Kenya, where we see help expanding its support, where we see help engaging with the private sector, including the private universities. And for that reason, Chair, we felt that we needed to be convinced, and after engaging, they asked for more time to consult and be able to submit a detailed amendment. Thank you, Chair.
Very well. The Honorable Chachu.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman, in terms of the traditions of this House and the precedents that have been set before, when the parliamentary committee of this House does its work, consults widely the stakeholders, and takes a position on the floor of this House, they represent the entire bench, the entire House. And I don't think it's in order for Majority Leader to actually undermine their role. Mr. Chair, they represent the entire bench. He's an individual, yes, with a serious office in this House.
The Honorable Chachu, the Honorable Chachu.
Not argue well for the traditions of this House if the whole work done by a whole parliamentary committee.
The Honorable Chachu, there's a point of order.
It's being undermined.
There's a point of order from the Leader of Majority.
Mr. Chairman, the members of the Education Committee are 19. This bill is before the rest of the members of the House. The rest of the members of the House must be convinced. They can disagree with the committee, they can disagree with me, who is the owner of the bill. So there's nothing written. Honorable Chachu, you know, I know why you are talking like that, but I will tell you that there is nowhere, there are no practices. You know, you don't use the word practice. If you use the word practice and tradition, you need to cite. You know, we do research. You know, we are not ignorant. So what we are saying is, and members will agree with me, I have given my reasons in the bill, and I'll repeat, Chair, if you allow me. This bill seeks to amend to align the composition of the board to include representation from the current institutions and within the higher education. Number two, it provides for the term of office of the CEO to be for 4 years and for the board to be 3 years. Tell us why you have a problem with that, why you are deleting the whole of that section. And that is the work of the Chair of Education. Honorable Chachu, you are not a member of the Education Committee. You don't just speak. You don't just speak for the sake of speaking.
Honorable members, I think, honorable members, just listen for 1 minute. I think that is the issue, the Honorable Leader of Majority, if you could just give Chachu his, yes, just hold on. The Honorable Chachu, you are on your feet before you are interrupted. So you can finish what you are saying, then I'll give directions on this.
Mr. Chairman, I really want to state for the record that at the parliamentary committee of this House is delegated that responsibility by the entire House. And Mr. Speaker, sir, it's in their right to really guide this House. And what the Chair said, is that instead of doing piecemeal amendments, they want to do a holistic amendment to that, the Parent Act. And that's the guidance the committee gave to this House. And I strongly feel that, Mr. Speaker, Majority Leader should not just stand up and really rubbish, or rather the work of the entire committee of this House. That's my problem. And I really think...
Honorable Chachu, I think you have been heard. You have spoken. Honorable members, just listen to this direction. when committees bring their reports here, they bring them to the plenary. The plenary becomes the owner of that business. And the reason why we undergo this practice of having a committee of the whole house, the committee can deal with that business as it deems fit. It can amend, it can agree, it can completely delete, it can completely throw it out. So it is the business of the house, and it is to be debated. So we cannot say that if the committee has reached a certain decision on an issue, it is final. It becomes the business of the house to deal with it. The Honorable Asheli, then followed by the Honorable Rachel Nyamai.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chair, it's like you picked my brains. Mr. Chair, I want to agree with you that the mover of the motion to be in agreement with the chair, so that we can move forward. Otherwise, when the chair is reading differently from the mover, then we have a problem.
I agree with you, the Honorable Asheli. I think it will be neater and tidier if the mover and the leader, the leader of majority and who is usually the mover of government business, could agree with their chairs. The Honorable Rachel.
Thank you.
Order members.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. While I appreciate the sentiments of the chair, I would like to support this amendment by the leader of majority because it does not interfere with the running of the board. It just makes things better because it is meant to align the composition of the board to include 4 years for the CEO and 3 years for the members. So there could be times when the committee does not agree with a bill like this, which is a government bill. But in this situation, I would like to support the leader and to ask other members that we support, because this is meant to increase the efficiency of the board and to separate the number of years that the CEO serves and the number of years that the board serves. So I support.
The Honorable Ibrahim, Wajir North.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I also rise to support the amendment by the majority leader. Indeed, indeed on the composition of the board to include representation from the current institutions involved with higher education. And I am also happy that on the same note, it also supports the Mongozo Code of Conduct on State Corporations, which advises, of course, all government on matters pertaining to general administration of state corporations. Speaker, I believe this amendment will most importantly support issues of transparency, accountability, and integrated related issues on compositions of board. And indeed, the fact that he is clear on the term of the board and chairpersons of the board being 4 years and 3 years, I believe this is strongly in line, and I do support the amendment, Speaker.
Very well. The Honorable Kamuren, member for Mogotio. The Honorable Mboko, just hold on 1 second, I'll give you an opportunity. The Honorable Tutoek.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to say that it is not really, it is fair to give the CEO 5 years and the board 3 years. And therefore, I like to say that the cycle of a university, normally the students take almost 4 years to graduate. And normally when a curriculum is put in front of students, it's good to review curriculums after 4 years. And therefore, if we keep changing the chief executives in the middle, it actually disrupts the kind of system or curriculum which is in place. Therefore, I rise to say that I oppose the amendment. I like to say we need time for, I think, in consultation with the chair of the Committee of Education, to have a more consultative framework so that most of the sector is consulted.
I therefore I beg to say that this amendment I don't support.
The Honorable Mboko.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. One, it's true that we submit to the House as a committee, I'm a member of that particular education committee, that yes, we did work, and now we are in the House, and therefore this is the business of the House. And therefore, finally, we shall put this to vote. But I want to say that the position we took as a committee was a position we arrived at after great consultation. And the committee itself is a committee that has people in the education sector. And therefore, we thought that we should have time for the people in that particular area to consult widely, so that finally when we get the document, it will be comprehensive for the education sector and not piecemeal per se. And that's why I would stand with the chair that, and try to convince the members of the House that we actually adopt that amendment as it is. We are doing good work there, and we shall continue to do that good work on behalf of the House. Thank you.
The Honorable Amalwa. Chris.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is a requirement nowadays that before we debate, we must have a committee report so that we can look at the report that has gone through the public participation for purposes of informed decision. But even if a report is there, Mr. Speaker, the floor can veto. This is what I thought we should inform the members. What the committee comes up with, Mr. Speaker, does not mean that you'll see the end of the light. If the committee decides otherwise, is not convinced, it can make a decision contrary. Now, my contribution to this, Mr. Speaker, when you look at the Statutory Act, Mr. Speaker, we must make laws where there is consistency. The State Corporations Act, Mr. Speaker, the stipulated time frame for the CEO is actually 3 years. But when you look at Higher Education Loans Board, it's also about that.
Very well, Honorable Chris. The Honorable Nyasunya.
Chair, I just want to broadly agree with the Chair of Education. The reason is, when the committee is not final. This House has the final say, but the committee is our eye. They have the opportunity to interact with stakeholders, listen to what stakeholders are saying. And if they say that they need time so that this thing is well harmonized, I don't think it is too difficult for us to give them the time. These are the people who are our eye. These are our people who listen to stakeholders on our behalf. We are unable to listen to these people as a House. So the only people who listen, and the committee cannot, all 19 of them, be wrong. And I have not had any dissenting views. So thank you. I want to support the Chair.
Finally, on this one, Chair, just a final say so that I can put it to the vote.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say that the committee sat and met stakeholders. And one of the stakeholders we met were actually the Higher Education Loans Board, the CEO, and we also met the Ministry of Education officials. When we met them, they had a raft of amendments. They were not even aware of this bill. And in our own wisdom, and in fact, I consulted the office of the Leader of Majority on this. In our own wisdom, we felt that this law needs to be looked at wholesomely, and we bring it to this House with further amendments to it. So I believe that if we do this, actually in the spirit of public participation, as Honorable Wanga said, and Honorable members, we agree that we delete this section, but the whole bill on Higher Education Loans Board is coming to the House, and we'll deal with it in a better way. Two, what Honorable Leader of Majority is saying is when we are members of Education Committee or any other committee, there are certain salient and pertinent issues that we look into in those committees. When we come to the House and we do not put those things into consideration, as Honorable Mboka said, it will actually not be good on our part. So I want to say that we are deleting this not to go against the law.
He's saying that he is now in agreement with you. Members, allow me then to put a question. That section 4.1 and 4.3 be amended as proposed by the mover. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? No. The ayes have it.
Section 5.
Chair? Mover? Section 5. Movers, Section 5.
Section? Oh.
You have
deleted.
Honorable members, you have deleted subsection 1 and 3, but we are now dealing with 5. Yes.
5.
Of section 4. So now we are with section 5.
Yes.
Yes.
That the schedule of the bill be amended in the proposed amendments to the Higher Education Laws Board, proposed amendments to section 5. Thank you.
I propose the question that section 5 be deleted as proposed by the mover. I put the question that section 5 be deleted as proposed by the mover. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Section 22.
Mover?
That section 22 be deleted as proposed in the schedule.
Very well. I propose the question that section 22 be deleted as proposed by the mover. I believe that the same reasons hold true to this one. I now put the question that section 22 be deleted as proposed by the mover. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, from your order paper, you will see that the Honorable Millie Odhiambo had intentions to move amendments which were similar to the ones that have been moved by the chair, so they therefore stand dropped. I will therefore now put the global question, which is that the provisions relating to the Higher Education Loans Board, 1995, number 3 of 1995, as amended, be part of the bill. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Provisions relating to the Kenya Information and Communications Act, number 2 of 1998.
I propose the question that the provisions relating to the Kenya Information and Communications Act, 1998, number 2 of 1998, be amended as proposed in the bill. Honorable members, from your order paper, you will see that the leader of majority is proposing to delete all the proposed amendments. And therefore, that is at page 1540 of your order paper. If you could look at that, it's listed as number 3 on page 1540. I'll therefore give him the first bite on this.
Chair, I drop my amendment on deletion.
Very well. So the leader's proposed amendments stand dropped. We'll therefore move to the proposed amendments. He doesn't have to give anybody. If he has, he can give. But dropping, you can always drop.
Chair, first I was asked by the Attorney General to do further consultation, but later the Minister for Information had an amendment through the committee. And in that instance, if I go with my amendment, then the one of the Minister of Information and Technology from the committee will die. So to save that one, I drop my amendment.
Very well. We will therefore now proceed with the proposals made by the chair, the Honorable Kisang.
Isn't it? Which one? Sections 6(1)(a) and 6(b)(1).
Honorable members, from your order paper, you will see that there were proposed amendments by the Honorable Millie Odhiambo, but she's not in the House, and her representatives, the ones she's chosen to prosecute on her behalf, are not in the House. So therefore, they stand dropped. I will therefore then put the question. The Honorable Kisang, just hold on. We have not reached you as yet. I will therefore put the question that sections 6(1)(a) and 6(b)(1) be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Let's go. The Honorable Kisangs, now we shall deal with yours.
Section 6(1)(e) and 6(2).
Yes, the Honorable Kisang, you know what to do. You need to move for second reading, because this is new.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Actually, Honorable Millie Odhiambo's amendments, she had agreed last night to drop them, and I had reported to the House, and she had noted. Honorable Chair, I move that the amendments on the order paper be moved on a second reading as per the order paper. Honorable Chair.
Honorable Kisang, just say to be read a second time.
Oh, Honorable Chair, to be read a second time.
Very well.
Honorable Chair, as a committee we met the stakeholders, we met the Minister of ICT, we met the ICT Authority and the industry. And Honorable Chair, the committee came up with a resolution that the board members of Communication Authority we give an opportunity to the President, as the earlier bill was, as the earlier law was, to appoint directly the chairman of the authority, and the Cabinet Secretary is given opportunity to appoint the other board members. The committee noted that a different procedure had earlier been given, where the chairperson was appointed the President and board members was appointed by a panel. And for the last 1.5 years, there was a time the authority stayed for 1.5 years without board members, because it was very difficult to have a quorum to replace board members, because of that. There is a need, therefore, to establish an equitable appointment procedure which does not inordinately hamper the operations of the authority and safeguard the independence of the authority as required by Article 34(5) of the Constitution. Honorable Chair, the CS will appoint the board members, but when it comes to the removal of the board members, there is a tribunal that requires that any board member to be removed will have to go through that tribunal for removal. That's why we decided to agree with the request by both the ministry and the CA authority. I move. And
1 and 6(2) be read a second time. Is it the mood of the House that we put the question? I put the question that new section 6(1) and 6(2) be read a second time. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I then propose the question that new section 6(1) and new section 6(2) be part of the bill. I put the question that new section 6(1) and 6(2) be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New section 25A.
The Honorable Kisang.
Honorable Chair, I move that section 25A be read a second time. Honorable Chair, as a committee, we sat and because of and also the market share of Kenyans, so we said because of the entry barrier of 2.5 billion upfront license fee for spectrum, we propose that for those companies that have more than 51% shareholding, they pay over a period of 10 years, not more than 10 years, if the spectrum fee is more than 1 billion, which currently their 4G license fee is at 25 million US dollars, which is equivalent to about 2.5 billion. So if we give them an opportunity to pay an average of 250 million per year, and also allow them to invest both in towers, so that at least the coverage in our country moves faster. So that's why we have proposed that we spread across the spectrum fee for companies that own more than 50%, Honorable Chair. So, Honorable Chair, I propose that members support this so that we can give opportunity to our local companies to invest in this telco sector. I move.
Very well, Honorable Kisang. I now propose the question that new section 25A be read a second time. I see interest from the Honorable Osoti. This is usually your area.
Thank you, Chair. I want to say I have no interest. I'm just a member of the committee. But I support this amendment on the basis that we have a serious problem, especially in mobile telecommunication sector in this country, because of the barriers to entry, especially by local investors, where you are supposed to pay over 1 billion shillings in terms of spectrum license, even before you start laying your infrastructure. This is so difficult to enter into the market, and these amendments is going to open up opportunities for Kenyans to also invest in the mobile telecommunication industry. And Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, Kenya is among a few countries in the world where dominance is a problem. Right now we have Safaricom, which controls over 50% of the market share. I think this is unacceptable, and this amendment will help us to solve the dominance problem that we have in the sector. So I support this amendment.
Very well. The Honorable Dwale, Leader of Majority.
Yeah, that's the question. You know, we wake up very early in the morning to come here. This amendment is good, and I'm sure I don't see the member for Madira who have been arguing for Kenyanization. So I support this. But again, I think the chair needs to tell us, why do you want the applicants undertake or construct at least 500 base transceiver stations across the country? You know, you cannot allow Kenyans investors to pay the spectrum fee over a period of 10 years. At the same time, you are telling him to do at least 500 base station transceivers. That's another huge investment. So I don't know what the chair can tell us what is the rationale between the 500. Because if you want him to pay an spectrum fee, if it's above $1 billion over 10 years, and you are telling him he must also build 500 of these stations, I think those 500 of these stations are very expensive. So on one hand, you're helping him. On the other hand, you are killing him. And secondly, I think that is the spirit of Honorable Jude Jomo motion in the House. And there is amendments to public procurement. Let us make sure that we protect our people in terms of doing business. Yeah. I support.
Yeah, the Honorable Chris, I hear you, but let me allow the Honorable Kathuri a go at it. He has not said anything since morning.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want to echo the sentiments of the majority leader. But on this one, Chair, I want to encourage the Chair ICT to encourage investors to do sharing of the transceiver stations, because environmentally it is not sound to construct those base stations across the country. Whatever we have, the infrastructure we have can be used by anybody coming to this country to invest. It is happening in other jurisdictions, Honorable Speaker, and as an environmentalist, I would encourage the Chair also to encourage those coming in to share whatever the infrastructure that we have already and stop polluting the environment with us, with so many BTS stations. Thank you. But I support the amendment, Honorable Chair.
The Honorable Amalwa. The Honorable Amalwa. The Chair, you will be the Honorable Amalwa, do you have something new to say?
You know, we research. We don't just come and say, put the questions, Mr. Chair. If you have nothing to say, you let others say something. Thank you, Chair. Chair, this industry world all over is very lucrative in terms of returns to the investments. Unfortunately, the big players have been people from outside. For instance, an organization like Safaricom, making super profits. When it comes to issues of corporate social responsibility, Mr. Speaker, whatever they are doing is negligible. It's actually insignificant, you know? So we should encourage the local investors because it's been an entry barrier, and this has been very prohibitive. So I want to thank the committee. In fact, we should have gone and lowered further so that we encourage the local investors because we are assured the returns are going to be invested here locally. And when it comes to local industry, Mr. Speaker, and this issue of telecommunication, it should not just be an issue of foreigners. So this is a very good amendment. I want to salute the Chair for the good work. But as time goes by, let's do an analysis, the impact analysis. We could amend and go down further so that we can encourage more people. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Honorable members, I think all of us are encouraging these investors. Unless you have something that is contrary to that, I think let us put the question. The Honorable Jude, you have something different.
Just slightly different, Chair. Though I want to support what Majority Leader have said, I want to reframe what Honorable Kaduri have said. Instead of encouraging sharing of the base transmission stations, we should discourage installation of new base transmission stations and make sure that the ones that are there are fully utilized. I remember when I owned my first telephone.
Very well, the Honorable Jude. The Chair, just one minute so that I can put the question.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Thank you very much, Honorable Members. We have noted there is a report that is coming to the House in the next 2 weeks on inquiry on the sector, and what we are proposing is sharing of towers, sharing of basically is, and we are also using what we call universal service funds. And going forward, whoever is going to put up a tower, we have said they need to put space for others to slot in their equipment in those particular towers instead of building so many towers across the place. But basically for the 500 towers we have proposed, we wanted to get serious investors so that we don't get jokers who are coming in and they don't invest. That's one of the reasons why we wanted to ensure we get serious investors in. Thank you very much.
Honorable Chair, I think you have heard the sentiments of the members, and you have committed yourself on record that you shall be bringing something to do with in regard to this sharing of these facilities. And the House is a house of record. We hope that you'll do this. I now put the question that Section 25A be that new Section 25A be read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I propose the question that new Section 25A be part of the bill. I put the question that new Section 25A be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the global question for the entire bill. which is that the provisions relating to the Kenya Information and Communications Act number 2 of 1998 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Relating to the Community Service Orders Act, number 10 of 1998.
I propose the question that provisions relating to the Community Service Order Act 1998, number 10 of 1998, be amended as proposed in the bill.
Section 2.
I see no amendment to this. I propose the question that Section 2 be amended as proposed in the bill. I put the question that Section 2 be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Section 3.3.
Yeah, mover. I see amendment to this. The chair has, yes. And the Honorable Millie.
Millie is deleted.
Oh, it was deleted.
She's deleted, so is that with her?
Honorable members, Honorable Leader, before you take it on, there is a proposal by the Honorable Millie Odhiambo to delete that proposed amendment. And there's her nominated representatives in this regard is the Honorable TJ. Are you ready to deal with it? The Honorable TJ?
I'm always on top of my feet. Mr. Chair, member for Suba North intends to delete these provisions. But you see, Mr. Chair, we are here for good legislation. If the deletion were to pass, then of course the proposals by the chair will fall aside. Because Honorable Millie...
We cannot do reverse. The chair explains, then Honorable TJ drops. Yeah. And the Honorable TJ has shown the goodwill. Only that he has not uttered the word drop, but he has, in spirit and the letter and the heart, was all towards dropping, but he didn't use the word drop.
Honorable Leader of Majority, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Actually, what I should have done, and what I'm proceeding to do, is to accommodate the Honorable TJ and ask the chair if he has... yes.
I know the thinking of member for Suba North. He happens to be my sister. My blood sister, by the way. And also the member of the place where my umbilical cord was buried. So I happen to know her thinking. I know that... no, don't talk about Suba.
The Honorable Chris Wamalo, you cannot be on your feet and challenging the Honorable TJ when he has the mic.
I know that Honorable Millie Odhiambo is particularly concerned about subsection 10, the clause 10, B, C,
Section 3.3. And what you seem to be speaking to are the proposals by the chair to amend, which are new. So I will accede to your first request, which was that if the chair could speak to those proposals by Millie, then you will be able to make your decision one way or another, but in any event, we'll allow the House to make its final decision. The Honorable Koinange.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I can go ahead and move.
Or you want me to respond to?
Yes, the proposal by the Honorable Millie to delete
Okay.
section 3.3. What is your take on it?
Thank you, Chair. I wish to give the House a brief background in regard to Section 3 of the Community Service Act, on which the amendment in the statute laws, miscellaneous amendment, Bill 6 to amend. Section 3, Chair, of the Act gives the courts the power to issue community service orders to persons over a term of imprisonment for 3 years or less, with or without the option of a fine to be appropriate. Now, the intention of the new subsection 9 is introduced in the amendment bill.
Moved ahead of us. You are actually moving your proposed amendments. I just wanted you to give us a direction of the text. But then, anyway, yeah. Honorable members, this is the business of the House. I will, now that the Honorable TJ has spoken to it, let me give it to the House to make a decision on the proposal by the Honorable Millie. I will therefore then, yes, very well.
That may not be necessary. I think I withdraw.
Very well. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable TJ. So the proposal by the Honorable Millie is dropped. I will therefore now proceed to the proposals by the Chair on Section 3. No, 3.3, we are done with it. The Honorable Chair, you are going to make your proposals on new subsection 9. Subsection 3.3, we have finished with it. I didn't.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you, Chair. The committee is in agreement to the new subsection 9, and further wish to introduce a new subsection 10 as out in the order paper, which seeks to limit the issuance of community service orders to persons convicted of the offenses listed therein, which are in order paper, that is anti-corruption and economic offenses, sexual offenses, prohibition of female genital mutilation, the prevention of terrorism, the proceeds of crime and anti-money laundering, Bribery Act. Honorable Chair, if the convicts are taken back to serve in the community, this will affect
We're still on 3.3, isn't it?
So,
Yes, we're still on 3.3.
yes. Allow me to propose the question that Section 3.3 be amended as proposed by the mover. The Honorable TJ.
Needed a guidance. Having dropped my amendments, it therefore means that Section 9, Clause 9, or what the Chair calls Section 3.3, does not have an amendment. Because what the Chair is speaking to is the new amendment. So I think we need to dispose of this as though there is no amendment first, and then go into what the Chair seems to be suggesting. Having dropped my amendment, it means that there is no amendment to Clause 9. So that we vote on it as though there is no amendment to it. And then the Chair then can address us on Section 10, the new 10 that he is trying to insert.
The Honorable TJ, I see what you're saying, but so that we can move together. The Honorable Millie was proposing to amend subsection 3.3 by deleting, which we have dropped. We shall. But then the chair is proposing to add onto it a new section. So the amendment by the Honorable Millie and the one that is proposed by the chair, they don't speak to the same, they're really not concurrent. So I will be able to put the global question to take care of all of us when we propose to make this with amendments as part of the bill at the end of it. Will that take care of all of us? Are you? I think yes. The Honorable Nyikal, Doctor.
Remember that happened yesterday. When we're going to now put the global, yes. I may support, say, 3, but I'm not in agreement with the new 10. And if you then say globally as that, then it then becomes difficult. So it would be good to take each, complete it, and move on.
Honorable Nyikal, what happens is, before we put the global question, for every individual section that we deal with, we propose the question so that members either agree or they reject. So if they reject 3.3 or 3.9, the new proposed one by the chair, then they'll have rejected it. It doesn't become part of the bill. They'll have rejected it at the point of the proposal. So it will not be an amendment that has been acceded to by the House. But in any event, I think just to move in a neat way, I will, after we deal with the one by the chair, I will, no harm, I will put the question so that we just move in one way, one clear way. So therefore now, allow me then, I had proposed a question for the chair. I see interest from the Honorable Tom Oluoch, the member for Madal.
Honorable Chair, the intervention I had placed was earlier. I think it was in relation to the Departmental Committee on Information and Communication.
Very well.
Thank you.
Very well.
Yeah.
Very well. The Honorable Tongi.
Mr. Speaker, whereas I agree with the amendment as moved by the chairman, but I'm having a little concern on the E part of it, that the Proceeds of Crime and Anti-Money Laundering Act number 9 of 2009 also been included in the argument. Mr. Speaker, I'm thinking that if we were to do that, then it means people who have stolen from the Kenyan public will ensure the period of serving in prisons, and therefore nothing happens. What if we included, what if we have a provision where they will be forced to restitute, to give back whatever it is they have stolen from the public to the Kenyan people? I'm having in mind like the clerk of the former clerk of Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, who passed on in jail.
Reading, usually it's just brief comments. It is not. Honorable members, allow me to put the question. The Honorable Makali Mulu, it is not a must that you must say something. Other people, you are going to say something when you vote. I'll allow you to vote now. Honorable members, allow me to put the question that Section 3.3 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Section 7, 1, C, and 3.
That's proposed in the bill. And now put the question that Section 7.1, C, and 3 be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Section 8.1.
I propose the question that Section 8.1 be amended as proposed in the bill. I now put the question that Section 8.1 be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Section 17.
I propose the question that Section 17 be amended as proposed in the bill. I now put the question that Section 17 be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the global question, which is that the provisions relating to the Community Service Order Act number 10 of 1998 be amended as be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Provisions relating to the environment management and code
is to correct the numbering, I suppose, because there is a resultant renumbering which has ensued after there is a reorganization in that clause. And so I think I dropped that. So, Mr. Chair, I go on record as dropping that amendment to 29 subsection 4.
Yes, that's fine. That's fine. Very well. Very well. There's a change of chair. Honorable TJ Kajwang, the amendment by Honorable Miri Odhiambos has been dropped, as you have confirmed. That I confirm. In that case, therefore, I propose a question that section 29(4) be amended as proposed in the bill. Honorable members, I put the question that section 29(4) be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Section 32.
Yes, you're doing that for Honorable Miri Odhiambo?
Yes, sure.
Yes, Honorable TJ Kajwang.
I also intend to drop this. I can see that the bill is trying to realign the terminology of the council to the cabinet secretary. So just to save time, I will drop the amendments on section 32 and section 36(1).
Honorable TJ Kajwang will deal with one after the other. For record purposes, the amendment by Honorable Miri Odhiambo on section 32 is dropped. Honorable members, I propose a question that section 32 be amended as proposed in the bill. I will put the question that section 32 be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Section 36(1).
Yes, Honorable TJ Kajwang, for Honorable Miri Odhiambo on section 36(1).
Chair, I propose to drop that amendment on section 36(1).
Well, for record, the amendment by Honorable Miri Odhiambo on section 36(1) is dropped. Honorable members, I propose a question that section 36(1) be amended as proposed in the bill. I will put the question that section 36(1) be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Can we do for, or we're not doing for all of them? We do the new proposed amendment, whatever. Okay. New section 2.
So, Chair, the reader or majority, please. We are dealing with the new section 2. Please, the second reading.
Chair, I beg to move that new section 2 be read a second time. And the justification is just to delete the word public department and replace it with complaints committee. within the reading of the National Environmental Complaints Committee. So I'm replacing the word public complaints to the, it's just an alphabetical replacement. Complaints Committee is the right term for the National Environmental Authority.
Honorable members, I propose a question that new section 2 be now read a second time. Yes, Honorable Chachu.
Chair, I do support the majority leader's amendment on this. As a committee, actually, we had a similar amendment, but we felt that he should carry the day. So it's actually just fitting that we have a National Environmental Complex Committee replace National Environment Department, because it's all investigative, and that name is more befitting and more suitable. So we are in concurrence.
Very well, honorable members. I proceed. I'll put the question that new section 2 be now read a second time. Will as many as all of that opinion say aye? Will as many as all of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, it is good to be keen. Other members, it is good to be keen and put this at the session. Honorable members, I propose a question that new section 2 be part of the bill. I will proceed to put the question that new section 2 be part of the bill. Will as many as all of that opinion say aye? Will as many as all of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New sections 30, section 31, 1, 31, 1D, 31.3, 31.4, 31.5, and 31.6.
Majority Leader.
No, there's no amendment. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Chair, thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable TJ and Honorable Chachu. It's just the same thing, replacing the word department appearing in, is a new section?
Yes, a whole lot of new section.
No, do I need to move for the
Second reading.
Yeah. I beg to move that new section 31.1, is it? 31.1 be read a second time, and it's just again expressions replacing the National Environmental Department, here referred to as a department, and substituting therefore with the Complaints Committee for the same reasons.
Very well. Honorable members, I propose a question that new section 31, 31.1, 31D, 31.1D, 31.3, 31.4, 31.5, and 31.6 be now read a second time. Honorable members, I will put the question that new section 31, 31.1, 31.1D, 31.3, 31.4, 31.5, and 31.6 be now read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I propose a question that new section 31, 31.1, 31.1D, 31.3, 31.4, 31.5, and 31.6 be part of the bill. I will proceed to put the question that new section 31, 31.1, 31.1D, 31.3, 31.4, 31.5, and 31.6 be part of the bill. Will as many as all of that opinion say aye? Will as many as all of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New section 32.
Leader, majority.
Is it 33 too?
Let's deal with it one after the other. It helps to be tidy.
15? Yeah. It's the same thing, but you know we should have, as TJ is saying, we should have, but the procedure don't allow us. Chair, I beg to move that new section 32 be read a second time, and again on the same, replacing department and substituting therefore with the words conference committee, because of the investigative nature of NEMA.
Honorable members, I propose a question that new section 32 be now read a second time. I will put the question that new section 32 be read a second time. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I propose a question that new section 32 be part of the bill. I put the question that new section 32 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New section 33, 33.1, 33.1A, 33.1B, 33.2A, 33.2C, and 33.2D.
Majority Leader.
Chair, I beg to move that 30, what? Yeah.
I think it's important to get them very specifically so that for record.
Chair, I beg to read for the second reading the following clauses: clause 33, 33.1, 33.1A, 33.1B, and 33.2A. And the same for the justification I gave. This is just replacing the one department and substituting therefore with the conference committee because of the nature of NEMA as an investigating authority.
Honorable members, I propose a question that new section 33, 33.1, 33.1A, 33.1B, 33.2A, 33.2C, and 33.2D be part of the bill. I will put the question that new section 33, 33.1, 33.1A, 33.1B, 33.2A, 33.2C, and 33.2D be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New section 34.
Majority Leader. Section 34.
Thank you, Chair. I beg to move that the new section 34 be read a second time. And again, the same argument. I'm deleting the words National Environmental Department appearing in the marginal note and substituting therefore with the words Complaints Committee of NEMA.
I propose a question that new section 34 be now read a second time. I put the question that new section 34 be now read a second time. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I propose a question that new section 34 be part of the bill. I put the question that new section 34 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New section 35.1.
Leader of Majority Party. New section 35.1.
Chair, I beg to move new section 35.1 for a second reading. And again, these are just consequential amendments. Deleting the word department wherever it appears and substituting therefore with the Complaints Committee of the National Environmental Authority.
Honorable members, I propose a question that new section 35(1) be now read a second time. I put the question that new section 35(1) be read a second time. With as many as are of that opinion say aye. With as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. I propose a question that new section 35(1) be part of the bill. I put the question that new section 35(1) be part of the bill. With as many as are of that opinion say aye. With as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
New section 36, 36(1), and 36(2).
Leader of Majority Party.
Chair, I beg to move that new section 36, 36(1), and 36(2) be read a second time. And again, is the same amendments replacing the word department wherever it appears and putting the complaints committee. And all these are consequential amendments. I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that new section 36, 36(1), and 36(2) be now read a second time. I put the question that new section 36, 36(1), and 36(2) be read a second time. With as many as are of that opinion say aye. Questions relating to Environment Management and Coordination Act number 8 of 1999 as amended be part of the bill. I'll put the question that the provisions relating to the Environment Management and Coordination Act number 8 of 1999 be part of the bill. With as many as are of that opinion say aye. With as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Provisions relating to the Kenya Roads Board Act number 7 of 1999.
What? Honorable TJ Kajwang, the member cannot be asleep. The member is completely alert, and I can tell. But what is it, Honorable Dr. Makari? I'll come to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for allowing me to say what I want to say. Mr. Chairman, just looking at what you have gone through, I know this is a house of rules and procedure, but looking at the time we have taken just to change every small bit, replace department with the Complaints Committee, I think also, Mr. Chairman, we need to learn as we move forward that. I think we need to get our way as a house. We need to bring something here to approve. That in the future, so that just small things which take our time could actually be done in a faster way. I know procedurally, it doesn't mean we must be so fixed with the procedure that we can't change anything. If something we can do, such a small, it should not take a lot of time. More so, house time.
Very well, Honorable Makari, I see what you mean, but you know, the procedure has to be followed, you know, for the future. That is good, and that is why the members are even given leverage to amend standing orders and all that. But for now, that is the procedure. Honorable members, I propose a question that provisions relating to the Kenya Roads Board Act number 7 of 1999 be amended as proposed in the bill.
Section 12(2).
I thank you, Chair.
Honorable Chair, before you speak, I propose a question that section 12(2) be amended as proposed in the bill. Honorable Chair, mover.
Yeah, I thank you, Chair, and I beg to move that Kenya Roads Board Act be amended as it has been provided for in the order paper.
And the import of this, Chair, is that we are proposing as a committee to amend by deleting the word masters appearing in paragraph A, and therefore we remain with the degree. And therefore, this was concerning appointment of the executive director of the board chair, and the earlier one was providing for masters as almost the minimum qualification in terms of education, and we, the committee, are saying the minimum qualification should be a degree, so that it doesn't look like, Chair, we are targeting to omit certain people, but we are saying that the minimum should be a degree, and even if you have a master's, that is well, but we are providing for a minimum of a degree, Chair. I thank you.
Honorable members, I propose the question that section 12(2) be amended as proposed by the mover. Yes, let's start with Honorable Tunoi.
Thank you, Chair. I want to support that proposal by the Chair because this amendment in the bill looks so suspicious. In fact, looks malicious. Looks like someone wants to create a position for a certain person. I believe with even the first degree, it's adequate to be a DG, unless you are talking like you want a lecturer to be in that place or something like that. But I believe a single degree, the first degree, could be adequate. I support the Chair.
Very well. Honorable Makari, we have two other members and we make progress.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, even as I support this amendment, I want to make the following observation. I think there is need, Mr. Chairman, for us as a House to harmonize some of these qualifications. Because, by the way, even to get to that level in the mainstream public service without a master's, it's like impossible. So I don't know whether we are saying we want someone to be picked from outside to come and get these positions, because I think above job group M and above, without a master's, you can't be promoted. So I think we need to harmonize, even as we make the law, that we don't open room for people who are not even qualified to come there and start bringing problems. So I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, let's have Honorable TJ Kayong. I'll come this way.
Mr.
Yes.
Chair, I think this is a good amendment. I think if you have been following the amendments we have had in the infrastructure sector, we have insisted, starting with when we were doing roads bill, we did lots of institutions and lots of boards and said that the CEO, in fact, it was the majority leader who thought that we should bring master's degree. And the members said that, look, master's degree is a good thing, but maybe a very high qualification, and we may want to think of more of experience than the paper degree that a person comes with from school. And so this is in line with what we have said in the infrastructure sector, that the basic degree that one should have as a CEO is the degree level, the graduate level, and thereafter we can look at the experience. The only place I think that we have put I think it is in RBA, where we said, I think we made an amendment for master's level. So I think this is a good amendment, and I support it.
Let's have two other members, and then, yes, majority, then I'll come that way. We have one or two other members, then we make progress on this one.
Chair, as I support this amendment, and we have done it in many other legislation, having a master's degree does not lock you out. It becomes an added advantage. So, you know, we don't send the feeling that it's only for people with the first degree. If somebody goes for an interview of the same job and he has an added advantage, he has masters and experience, he will still get the job. So I support.
Very well, Honorable.
And there's no mischievous in the bill.
Very well. 1 minute.
Mischievous.
1 minute, Honorable Kaduri.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, as I support this amendment, which is also good, in my mind, I'm trying to think if there is nothing else in Kenya Loans Bill or Act which can be amended to make the loans maintenance fuel levy fund to be more efficient. So I'm wondering why it's only the aspect of masters that...
Section 12.2.
I propose a question that section 12.2 be amended as proposed in the bill. Chair, Honorable Kanini Kega.
Thank you, Chair. And I beg to move that that section be deleted because it is more of administrative work. And we felt that we are over-legislating on that. And it was a proposal and the thinking of the committee that that can be left to the board. So that clause to be deleted.
Honorable members, I propose a question that section 12.2 be amended as proposed by the mover. Yes, Majority Leader.
As I support, I think what the chair committee has done is that the functions of the managing director now will be performed exclusively by him or her. That is the input of the amendment of the committee. In simple language.
Very well, very well. Honorable members, I put the question that section 12.2 be amended as proposed by the mover. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Sections 16, 18, 21, and 27.
Honorable members, I propose the question that section 16, 18, 21, and 27 be amended as proposed in the bill. There are no amendments on that. I put the question that section 16, 18, 21, and 27 be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Section 29.1, Part A, Part B, Part C.
I propose a question that section 29.1 A, B, and C be amended as proposed in the bill. No amendment on that. I put the question that section 29.1 A, B, and C be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Section 34.4.
I propose a question that section 34.4 be amended as proposed in the bill. Honorable, there is an amendment by Honorable Miri Odhiambo. Honorable TJ Kajon, do you have a brief?
Mr. Chair, I do have a brief. I have actually gone through these pieces of legislation. I think these are one of the CACO pieces of legislation that I had Honorable Member for Suba North say that she would wish to be dropped. I myself have gone through them and they are good pieces of legislation. They are aligning the terminology of the legislation from cabinet, from minister to cabinet secretary, but above all, clause 59 is the best because it is ingraining what we know as property rights, that you have to deposit the piece of art or scale for which you want a patent or for which you want protection. And so, although I know that the procedure would have me to rise all the time, but for brevity, I'm dropping all the amendments that have to do with the industrial property.
I think, honorable members, I put the question that section, and before that, it's just noted for record that the amendment by Honorable Miri Odhiambo for section 34.4 is actually dropped. In that case, I put the question that section 34.4 be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I think. Honorable TJ Kajwang, I agree with you what you had proposed, so that because you have actually dropped all the amendments, I think to make it easier, I will ask the clerk to read all of them up to first up to section 84(2), and then you can pronounce yourself on the dropping, and then we can put them together. That makes it much easier. And then I'll call you on the subsequent section later on. So, clerk.
Sections 34(5), 53(2)(a), 59, 62, 63, 77, 80, 84(1), and 84(2).
Honorable members, I propose a question that section 34(4), 34(5), that 53(2)(a), 59, 62, 63, 77, 80, 84(1), and 84(2) be amended as proposed in the bill. Honorable TJ Kajwang, could you confirm again that actually the amendment by Honorable Miri Odhiambo are dropped on the sections read?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I confirm that all those amendments proposed by member for Suba North are hereby dropped. And I see my learned friend, Mr. Murugara, is the only one, I'm sure, who understands where we are now. Industrial Property Act. They are designs here. They are proposing that designs must be deposited with the registrar, by which then, I know that Majority Leader has problems when we mention learned friends, but we will always learn, and everybody is allowed to. But let me say that this amendment...
What about TJ Kajwang? What is it, Majority Leader? What is your point of order?
My good friend, Honorable TJ, is insinuating a very improper motive on members sitting in this chamber. That by saying it's only Honorable Murugaru who's understanding, there are many members who are understanding. And Honorable TJ, you know, we accept you are, for a few hours, you are Chief Justice, purported. But please respect members. Just
Very well, honorable members. The amendments by by Honorable Miri Odhiambo on the sections read are confirmed as dropped. In that case, therefore, I put the question that section 34(4), 34(5), 53(2)(a), 59, 62, 63, 77, 80, 84(1), 84(2) be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Honorable members, order members. You know, the chair has to listen to the voice vote. And I can see very many members in the House, but I could barely hear the voting. So I would carry that again, honorable members. For purposes of record, I'll carry that vote again, so that then I'm clear. Honorable members, I propose a question that section 34, I put the question that section 34(4), 34(5), 53(2)(a), 59, 62, 63, 77, 80, 84(1), 84(2) be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Sections 86(2), 86(3), 86(4), and 86(5).
I propose a question that section 86(2), 86(3), 86(4), and 86(5) be amended as proposed in the bill. No amendments on that. Therefore, honorable members, I put the question that section 86(2), 86(3), 86(4), and 86(5) be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Yes, Honorable TJ Kajwang will read again all these other amendments again by Honorable Miri Odhiambo, and then you will confirm.
Sections 87, 87(2), 87(4), 87(6), 87(8), 87(9), 87(10), 11, 12, 13, Section 90, Section 91. Section 92, 93, 94, 91, 91A, 92.4, 93.2, and 113.
Honorable members, I propose a question that section 84, 87, 87.2, 87.4, 87.6, 87.8, 87.9, 87.10, 87.11, 87.12, 87.13, and 90, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 91, 91A, 92, 4, 93, 2, and section 113 be amended as proposed, be part of the bill.
Mr. Chair, I pronounce myself in respect of all those provisions to which member for Suba North had intended to make proposals, and I confirm that they're all dropped.
Honorable members, in that case, the amendments on the sections read by Honorable Miri Odhiambo are dropped. I therefore put the question that section 87, 87.2, 87.4, 87.6, 87.8, 87.9, 87.10, 87.11, 87.12, 87.13, section 90, section 91, 92, 93, 94, 91, 91A, 92, 4, 93, 2, and 113 be amended as proposed in the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? There is have it.
Provisions relating to the Children Act number 8 of 2001.
I propose a question that provisions relating to the Children's Act be amended as proposed in the bill.
Section 2.
I propose a question that section 2 be amended as proposed in the bill. Honorable Miri Odhiambo, and we must commend Honorable Miri Odhiambo clearly. She seems to have really read this bill, even going with the amendment. And Honorable TJ Kajwang is here, holding brief.
Mr. Chairman, in respect of the amendments to the Children's Act, I don't have the brief of Honorable Member for Suba North. Instead, the member for Seme has her brief.
Oh, on this occasion, it is Honorable Member for Seme. Honorable Dr. Nyikal, yes. Please, you have the floor on that one. Yes, what? What is it, Honorable Majority Leader?
Chair, unless the letter from the Speaker, Honorable Miri Odhiambo has delegated 2 members. Honorable TJ Kajwang has no local standard, no powers to delegate to Honorable Nyikal. So can you confirm that the delegation was provided for both?
Yes. Yeah.
No, the letter is a letter to confirm. It's not you. I'm asking the chair to confirm. You are not the chair.
Well, Honorable TJ Kajwang, if it is on that one, I don't need to give you. Just need to pronounce myself as a chair. I need to confirm to majority in the House that actually Honorable Member for Suba North, Miri Odhiambo, seems to have done her homework, and in light of standing order, I have a letter here confirming that Honorable TJ Kajwang and Honorable Nyikal James have unequivocally been appointed to hold the brief on Honorable Miri Odhiambo. So in that case, Honorable Nyikal, please proceed.
Chair, in case of doubt, I have a copy of the letter here giving me the authority to do that. It can be tabled. Chair, these amendments for for Honorable Millie will actually be adjudicated. That, Chair, is that the basic issue here is we have a society, the Child Welfare Society, which through just a legal notice seems to be getting the power to do the functions of the National Council for Children's and therefore Children's Services, and therefore the officer for that society is now taking the same position as the authorized officer. So they were adding into the list on clause 2 of the actual act. That's what 2 here is doing, and we are saying that should not be so. So we seek the deletion of that. We are deleting the amendment.
Yes, what is it, Majority Leader?
Chair, I really want Honorable TJ and Honorable Nikal not to fall victim to Honorable Millie, because Honorable Millie in order paper is deleting everything. Let's start from there.
Order Majority Leader,
Let me finish, because the bill is mine.
Order Majority Leader, I want to give some more guidance.
I'm making a statement.
I haven't proposed the question.
No, okay.
I'll give you a chance, definitely, when I propose the question, then so that we are properly on it. In that case, honorable members, I propose a question that section 2 be amended as proposed by the mover. Majority Leader.
Chair, the essence of this bill, this section, and I'm sure the chair of and members of Labor and Social Welfare Committee will agree with me. These amendments to Child Welfare Society of Kenya is very, very important. Number 1, it's creating a national adoption society. 2, it's replacing, it's conferring powers on the minister in order to regulate how charitable child institutions are being run in this country. If we don't do it, then these children who are being stolen every day will continue. And 3, adoption societies and how they are established is found in this section. Lastly, there is establishment of a task force committee and working groups. So let's go one by one and see what is being deleted, and Honorable, we go section by section in the amendments of Honorable Millie, so that where we feel it's making sense, we delete. Where it's not making, but I really want the House and the Committee of Labor to be very attentive.
Very well, very well. Yes, I'll come to you, Honorable Wario.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Bwana Speaker, from the onset, I want to oppose that amendment. The reason for this, Mr. Speaker, we all appreciate and understand trafficking of children and the vulnerability of children. Section 53(1) of the Constitution clearly elaborates on how children are to be treated in this country. Mr. Speaker, there is a line between children officers and child welfare society. We are defining child welfare society to be a national adoption society. Vulnerability of children is countrywide. You cannot give that responsibility to one adoption home. So if there is a problem of vulnerability in Kisumu or in Garissa or Tana River, Child Welfare Society has to have the national face in protecting the vulnerable children. That is the essence of this particular clause. By deleting that, Mr. Speaker, by deleting that, you are leaving the vulnerable children to the hands of people who might turn them into prostitutes and sell them, Mr. Speaker.
Very well, very well.
I oppose that amendment.
Honorable Anga.
Chairman, I'd like to oppose this amendment. And the reason is, what is being deleted? What is being deleted is a proposal in section 2 to insert the words an officer of the National Adoption Society immediately after the words labor officer. If you look at what we are adding National Adoption Society officer to, it is to add to a long list of authorized officers. A police officer, administrative officer, children's officer, approved officer, a chief appointed under the Chiefs Act, a labor officer, and now we are adding an officer of the National Adoption Society. Why do we delete that? We are just adding it to a long list of other authorized officers. So why would you delete a provision such as that? And the Committee of Labor had a chance to listen to all stakeholders, including civil society, who came and opposed all these amendments. But we said government must have a go-to place as far as adoptions are concerned. We cannot have our children in the hands of private people. And this is what we are saying as a committee. And I think what should be heard by this House is also the voice of this committee that listened to everybody, so that we move forward on this one.
Yes. What, you have a point of order, Honorable Sankok? No, yeah, that is a contribution. It's not a point of order, Honorable. And I'll come that way. Yes, I've heard you.
Out there who are craving for the attention of the president to be appointed under the State Corporations Act. And so, member for Homa Bay, we are with you. Member for Homa Bay, you are very passionate about this, and I needed you to listen. We are with you in this, except please help us put this Child Welfare Society of Kenya as part of statute law. And this is where we had problems with Wildlife Society of Kenya. Remember when we gave them money and then we discovered that they are not an organization which should have a vote. And yet we gave them money from this House. So it is that accountability that we are talking about, that we can have a body that we can bring to this House and will respond to us, not to OP through the State Corporations Act. This is the point.
Very well. Let's have Honorable Sanko. If you can take 1 minute, we must make progress on this one. You know,
thank you very much,
just 1 minute, then
Honorable Chair. And for sure, I really oppose this amendment because, Honorable Chair, this orphanage and these people in private purporting to take care of our children have been the conduit of child trafficking here in Kenya. And the committee went all round, because I'm a member of the Labour Committee. We went all round, listened to Human Rights Commission, we listened to we listened to the public, and what we came up with is that our children will be safe in the hands of the government, not in the hands of private individuals who need to sell them for money. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Moshera, 1 minute. Yes. We'll get 2 members, then we shall give it to the members to make a decision. Either way. Honorable Moshera, please. Not Honorable Wario. Honorable Moshera.
Thank you.
Honorable Wario, you already had an opportunity.
Thank you, Chair. I also stand to oppose these amendments. As a member of Labour Committee, Mr. Chair, we went round listening to all the stakeholders. Matter of children, Mr. Chair, are too serious to be left to the private players. We have to involve government on the matters of our children. So I oppose.
You oppose. Honorable Dr. Makari, if you can take a minute, then we have one more member.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I'm actually surprised with what we are discussing, because, Mr. Chairman, when you look at the act we are reviewing, it is a 2001 act. And I'm wondering, why could the committee just take up the matter and bring the whole act and make all the amendments? Because what we are discussing are very substantial, Mr. Chairman. I don't know why we want to discuss them under miscellaneous. I would suggest if it was possible for the committee just to bring the main act and we review it, so that we discuss this matter comprehensively. Others, what we are doing is piecemeal.
Welfare Society of Kenya. Honorable Chair, the adoption process in law
is well set under the Children's Act. And let me confirm to members that the African society that we are generally is a very adoptive society. Even the provisions in the Adoption Act...
What is your point of order, Majority Leader?
Can Honorable Kaluma confirm whether he has an adoption case in court? Yes.
Chair,
If
please.
he has, he can speak on this matter.
Chair, please. Chair, please. Yeah, Chair. No, ngoja. Chair, before I go back to what I'm dealing with, could the Majority Leader be requested to withdraw that nonsensical statement? I think we should be cautious when we are raising issues affecting the integrity of members. You have more children than me. My children are better taken care of. Chair, this has to be withdrawn.
Please.
I've suffered a lot of these nonsensical remarks being made over my children.
Order, Kaluma.
Yes.
Please.
No, Chair, can you withdraw? No, can it go on record, please?
Majority that seems to have withdrawn. Good majority.
Those are very stupid remarks to make against a colleague.
Order members.
It was a question, but because, you know, Honorable Kaluma is a very personal friend of mine, and on that basis, I have withdrawn and apologized.
Yeah, thank you.
Very well. Honorable Kaluma. Honorable Sankok. It did not touch you. It did not touch you, please. Honorable Sankok.
Chair, may I draw? You cannot make a body which is not a statutory body mandated to do specific things, an adoption body outside the framework of adoption already in law. And for that reason, Chair, I would support the amendments, the deletions by Honorable Nyikal, and request the colleagues that this one we oppose. In fact, we would have gotten the views of lawyers. This is a very mistaken amendment.
Yes, very well. Honorable members, this Children's Act, number 8 of 2001, has very, very many amendments, as you can confirm from the order paper. So I think it is important to make progress, honestly, because as many people want to speak. Honorable members, I put the question that Section 2 be amended as proposed by the mover. With as many as are of that opinion say aye. With as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay. The nays have it.
There was another amendment by...
There is another amendment by Honorable Gideon Ochanda and Honorable Ochanda is not on the floor.
Section 59.
Honorable members, I propose the question that Section 59 be amended as proposed in the bill. Honorable Mini Odhiambo, I suspect this is Honorable Nyikal.
Kaluma, give me. Chair, I will say this to my colleagues, that I know they will pass, because I can see the mood, but take the facts. I'm talking from experience. The Child Welfare Society has been a welfare society. What really is the move here is to get a legal way of putting more money in the Child Welfare Society. This started as far back. This started as far back as 2012.
Honorable Nyikal, before I entertain point of order, order members. Honorable Nyikal, are you dealing with Section 59 or are you dealing with...
Exactly, I'm dealing with Section 59 because what it seeks to do is to say...
Please take the members, take the members slowly so that they understand the amendment.
I'll take the members slowly. What it is saying, we have charitable children's institutions, and these charitable children's institutions are actually institutions that are not actually part of government institutions. And because of that, there are rules they must be subjected to. And now, what this amendment seeks to do is to say a temporary place of safety established in this act will also now be included in the list. Now, the reason is this. Now, the Child Welfare Society has now been given through that Gazette notice the power to actually put children in places of safety. Now the places that they're putting children in are now that are the ones being protected. So that is exactly the reason. So the whole thing is about child welfare society. Yes.
Order members, you know, order members, you cannot speak. I have not even proposed a question. And it is important. And I think it is important. Honorable Nyikal is proposing certain amendment on behalf of Honorable Miri Odhiambo. If you agree or don't agree, it is good to listen to him. And then after that, I'll open it up after proposing a question, and I'll give you. Honorable members, Honorable Nyikal, I suspect you're almost done.
So basically,
Honorable Nyikal, please proceed and please conclude. Honorable Nyikal, you have the floor.
It's not a do or die for me. This work I've done for many years. I'm a pediatrician on top of that. So I know what I'm talking about. Consultant pediatrician, no, all those. So what this thing is seeking to do, they are now, the Child Welfare Society will now have the power to put children in this safety place of temporary safety. Now, once they put them there, these institutions must also be subjected to all the other regulations. But now, when you want to put them in the same group as a rehabilitation school, that is actually properly rehabilitated by the government, a school within Maniming or a second school, apostolic institutions. Now, we want to include it in that, and we have given this society the power to just place them as they wishes. So today they can't. That is not correct, and therefore this amendment we are proposing that actually we delete this amendment.
Very well. What did you say, Honorable Nyikal? You are not dropping. You have prosecuted.
No. What I'm saying is we have an amendment bill. So what I'm proposing to be deleted is what is in the amendment bill.
Honorable members, I propose a question that section 59 be amended as proposed by the mover. Honorable TJ Kajong, you seem to have really campaigned for Honorable Wanga. She had already caught my eye.
Thank you, Chairman. I respect Honorable Nyikal a lot. In fact, apart from being a very renowned pediatrician and having this amendment, in fact, it seeks to protect children. In fact, what it is saying, which Honorable Nyikal took as the opposite, is this temporary place of safety established under regulations made under this act is not included as part of a charitable children's institution. What we are saying is you cannot go as a person and create a place, put children there, and then say that that place is a charitable children's institution. What does section 59 say? Section 59 says, a charitable children's institution shall not include a rehabilitation school, a school within meaning of the Education Act, a Boston institution.
Give him the mic. I doubt you're on record, Honorable Wangwe. Please, if you don't mind, you just use the next, please.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I would like to oppose that amendment by Professor, because when she is trying to refer to this temporal institution, Honorable Chair, what is the bill seeks to provide for is just for the interim, Honorable Chair. which has to be legal put in the law as it is now. But now what he's trying to imply is he wants to make it as being part of the main bill, which is not supposed to be, Honorable Chair. Therefore, for me, I want to oppose that amendment.
Yes, my majority, I'll get this way. I'll get this way.
Because the bill is mine. Chair, and I want Honorable TJ to listen. Insert the following new paragraph immediately after paragraph C at section 59. Temporary place of safety established under regulations made under this act. Even that temporary safety place will still, the regulations of how it should be run will still come back to this House. But Chair, for the benefit of the nation, you know, I was wondering, this child welfare, what is it? Because from where I come from, it's haram. But now, I can confirm, these are multi-billion business. You know, I'm told
Initially, I thought that child welfare is through a statute. But if it's something amorphous at the discretion of the executive, I think we should recommit that particular part, particularly after hearing from the leader of majority, unless Honorable Wanga tells us what is all about this welfare. Because we cannot take the interest of the children at the risk of the people, Mr. Chair.
Very well.
Yes.
Honorable Morugara.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Chair. For intents and purposes, the Child Welfare Society is actually a private entity. It's a private entity. It has no legal backing on what it does as far as children are concerned. So there comes a time when we must legislate to ensure that there is a person who is accountable in respect of what is done to the children who are to be adopted or who are to be taken care of. Therefore, the proposed amendment really does not hold merit.
Yes, Honorable TJ Kajong, I'll give you, but after Honorable Janet, it is important to listen to Honorable Janet.
Of Kenya and adoption homes. These are two different institutions, Chair. These are two different institutions, Chair. Is a legal body, Child Welfare Society of Kenya. It's at the National Affairs of Kenya. Chair, we need this institution more than any other.
Very well, Honorable Wario, you know.
It's under legal notice, Chair.
Honorable Wario, you don't engage the member across, please.
Thank
you
Chair.
are on a point of order. You seem to have gravitated towards information.
For information purposes, Child Welfare Society of Kenya is established under legal notice.
Very well.
Secondly, Chair. Chair, protect me. Protect me, Chair.
Order, Honorable Wario, you may get a chance to contribute to this. You know you rose on a point of order.
Chair, we are being misled. That's why I try to rectify
very
something.
Well. Your point is made. Your point is made. Honorable Janet, please. Janet standing now. Honorable Janet.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I just want to agree with my committee because I was also part of the report, and I don't know why we members.
Children are being sold at exorbitant prices. It is haram completely. But I listened to my learned friend, Mr. Murugaru. Allow me to say this. He made the point. And you people need to listen, that two of you who are in the dispatch box. Because Mheshimiwa Wario is talking about a legal notice. Please also listen to others. We want to create a law for everybody. That legal notice is under Statute Corporations Act. It is an NGO like every other NGO, which has been incorporated under the Act. For an entity to have its legal status, it must be established by statute. This is the point. Now, members, as I sit down. Members, do you see this monopoly? Don't you see this monopoly, which is being brought to this thing called Kenya society? That all they will decide those safe houses, and all the children will be brought under the umbrella. Don't you see this monopoly? Don't you see you being duped? Don't you see yourself being duped by this? There is a
Hello, very well, very well, very well. You know, members, all the members.
Chair, I rise to support this amendment, Chair.
What is your point of order?
The leader of majority substantiate his comments. Can the leader of majority deposit on the dispatch box right now documents purporting that Millie Odhiambo runs Cradle? Can this be substantiated? If it cannot be substantiated, he must withdraw. I rise on the point of order as a matter of standing because he is creating an invective.
All the members, all the members, all the members,
I will table. I can't be intimidated. In the next sitting of the House, I will table and I'll ask my legal team to get us the information. Cradle belongs to Millie Odhiambo. Period.
Well, all the members, you know, majority
is to make legislation.
If you can,
Mr. Chair, as I speak on this matter, I'd like to draw attention to the fact that was raised by Honorable Dr. Muli earlier, which I hope the House that is in the business, the most important angle of making legislation is the committee of the whole House, Mr. Chair. And I want, as I make my submission, to remind the House that Honorable Dr.
That section 72A be amended as proposed by the mover.
B.
Honorable members, I propose a question that section 72B be amended as proposed in the bill. Honorable Nyika for Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
Chair, it is again in the same, and why, I'll tell you why I support this. Chair, I have the right to explain.
Yes, that's why you have the floor, Honorable Nyika. Honorable Nyika.
And therefore, I want the leader of majority to stop interrupt. If he wants a point of order, he stands on
Honorable Nyika, you have the floor and you are completely protected. You have the floor. So don't be moved by what you hear. Just move.
So, Chair, the overall concern here is that these amendments that have come in the miscellaneous amendments are basically running down or negating the whole Children's Act, and particularly the National Council for Children Services. And I think that is the concern of the member. Again, I will leave it to the members to think that.
Honorable members, I propose a question that section 72B be amended as proposed by the mover. Honorable members, I put the question that section 72B be amended as proposed by the mover. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The nays have it. I now put the question that section 72B be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. We had an amendment by Honorable Gideon Ochada, and that then is dropped. He has taken leave.
Section 147.
Honorable members, I propose a question that section 147 be amended as proposed in the bill. Honorable Nyika for Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
But they're the same. Yeah. Chair, from this point on the amendments 147, 155, 156, 157, and 163, I have my own amendments that I want to tell this House in complete sincerity, we did not even discuss with Millie. I got them independently. So I'm not dropping. Leader of majority, your position in this House and in this country is such that you should always be very orderly.
Honorable Jikal, I told you, Honorable Jikal.
Chair,
yes.
Chair, I want to say this through you.
Yes, please.
The leader of majority, his position in this House and his position in this country is such that he should always maintain utmost order.
Order. You know, Honorable Jikal, the one who maintains order is myself. And Honorable Jikal, I want to assure you, you are completely protected. You are moving on behalf of Media of Yabo. You have the floor. People will say many things.
Chair.
Yes.
Chair, how can you protect my ears when people are making noise? Can you stop me from hearing?
Honorable Jikal, no member is making noise here. If they are consulting, they consult in low tone. But Honorable Jikal, Honorable Sankok, what is your point of order? Honorable Sankok, what is your point of order?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. You know, Honorable Chair, he cannot call me a voting machine. He have to withdraw that one. It is Honorable Jikal. He is insinuating, and I was just conversing.
Excitement. Honorable Jikal, why don't you just take your time, and I'm sure you are almost concluding, move, then we make progress. And so that we make progress, please.
Chair, I really seek your protection.
Yes, you are protected.
So that those who are making comments while I'm doing this are distracting me.
Yes, proceed now. Proceed.
So, Chair, what this one seeks to do, this 147, is notwithstanding any provisions of this Act, the National Adoption Society may place a child it finds to be in care, in projection in the foster care
by the mover. What is your point of order of procedure, Honorable
Chair,
Majority?
from what I heard from Honorable Jikal, he has dropped those amendments. Yes, he said that.
Well, Honorable, I didn't hear the dropping, but he is here.
If he has not dropped, then we can debate.
Yes.
Chair, there seems to be a language problem here. I thought Swahili was
You haven't dropped. Honorable Jikal, that's all we want to hear. You haven't dropped.
I have not dropped.
Yes, very well. And I have proposed a question. Well, you know, when there are members who want to contribute, what I can do is to limit the number so that we make progress. And we shall start with Honorable Dr. Makaru. Yeah, and if we can make 1 minute each, then yes.
You know, Mr. Chairman, the reason why you see at times people using the words like voting machines is because this is a debating chamber, and I imagine people should be allowed time to present.
So that money can be made by those individuals. And I can assure you, Honorable Chair, I better be called a voting machine, but make sure that our children are protected, and they are better to be sold by the government rather than be sold by individuals, some of them who are members of this House who own those children orphanage. We cannot agree.
Thank you, Honorable Sankok. Can I give someone who hasn't spoken? Honorable Oyo Onyango. What is your point of order?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair. Honorable Onyango, let's hear what is your point of order, Honorable Kajwang.
Chair, you have to take control of this House. A member cannot impute improper motives on members, and you let him sit down and get to the Hansard. If he does not substantiate, then I am one of those who have an interest, according to the insinuation that he has given. And Duale is one of those who have an interest, unless there is substantiation. Can the honorable member please take control of this House so that we don't just hurl words across? Can this member take responsibility of his statement and either explain himself substantiate himself or withdraw. That is the order that we know in this House.
What is the issue that has been raised?
No, he has imputed improper motive on general membership of this House. That there are members in this House who have an interest and who are controlling. Yeah, those sub-members who are there, are they Burugara? Are they Kajuang? Who are those members?
Order members, you know, order members, you don't need to withdraw, order members. You know, Honorable Kajuang, the House is in full control. But I would like to encourage members. We are making laws. I know there is sometimes quite specific passion, especially around this. But I would like members, please, we are just making laws. And one of the members raised earlier that we are making laws for today and for tomorrow. I would like us to be sober in making and bring. Honorable Onyango, you have the floor. Honorable Onyango.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I wanted to plead with my good friend, Honorable Dr. Nyikal, to shelve all his interests. These people know very well that he worked in that department, and that the argument, the protracted argument is advancing this House is not going to convince us. He had an opportunity to come to our committee. I belong to this committee, and we had public hearings. We gave them to anybody. We had an opportunity to hear all those who are interested. All those who wanted came. We gave them time. We listened to them, and we drew to our conclusion. We have a report which you have presented here. He may be giving.
Order members, we have to make progress on this one. Honorable members, what is your point of order, Honorable Oboko? Miremba. Honorable Miremba, what is your point of order? Proceed.
Chair, I'm okay. I just wanted to say that this is a house of debate and it's a house of order. And we may disagree in debating. But, Chair, you really must establish and reign order within the House.
Very well, I have spoken
so that
to that.
we don't, no, 1 minute as I finish. And
yes.
I'm not even in a
yes, you have the floor. What is your point of order?
As I finish,
yes.
I want to say that as I stand with the Committee of Labour, it's very important that the debate goes on in a way that is fair to everybody, including those who are losing and including those who are winning. Thank you, Chair.
Very well, very well. Well said. Well said. Honorable members, I put the question that section 147 be amended as proposed by the mover. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The nays have it. Part of it. Yes. Honorable, the one amendment by Honorable James Nyikal that falls as well. Honorable members, I put the question that section 147 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it. Honorable members, it is 5 minutes to 1. And so we are at that point, section 147, because we must really report progress at this point. Mover. Majority Leader, please.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2018, up to the provisions relating to the Children's Act, Section 147, and its approval thereof with amendments, and seek leave to sit again today.
Honorable members, I'll put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House's consideration the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2018, up to the Section 147 of the Children's Act and its approval thereof with amendments, and seek leave to sit again today. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Can we have the chairperson to do the reporting?
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendments Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2018 up to the provisions relating to the Children's Act, Section 147, and approved the same with amendments and seek leave to sit again today.
Very well. Can we have the mover, the leader of majority, to...
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request the Chair of Labour, Honorable Wario, to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Wario for seconding. You are not on record. Please give him the mic.
Thank you. Madam Chair, I second.
You second, rightfully. Members, I propose a question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Is that the mood of the House? Let me, Honorable Kajwang.
No, but you see, Chair, this is how young, those of us who are in this House for the first time will know that when a report has been put before the House, debate arises. And it is the right of members to say something about it. This thing about put the question will kill debate in this House.
So what are you saying?
But, Madam Speaker.
You must contribute now debate.
Yes, Madam
debate.
Speaker, I want to thank the members in the committee and members who brought these pieces of legislation. They have acted very well, except, Madam Chair, next time we go into committee, we would really wish that we observe an example. Throw him out of the House so that the rest of the members can know that there must be order.
Very well.
To allow everybody to say anything without any discipline is a big problem in this House.
Very well. Leader, you want to just make a comment? Is it a debate?
It's a comment.
Yes.
I want to thank members since yesterday, this morning, for making sure that they play.
Members, order. This House is still in session. Order, members, the time being 1 p.m. The House stands until today, Thursday, 15th November 2018 at 2:30 p.m.